Hey, how you doing there again, folks? Me again, of course, Brandon Wenzel. Come back at you, another offering off my sampler platter. Yes, indeed, folks, sampler V series V's I've been doing for a little while now. I go over there to try out food and drink items. I eat stuff, I drink stuff, then, folks, I'm going to talk about stuff. I'm going to let you know all that you need to know about hopefully delicious stuff that, time I'm doing this, folks, I'm not going to lie. I forgot my headphones at home and I feel so naked. But we'll get to that. Folks, it's super simple format. I'm going to go over there, I'm going to try out food and or drink items for you. Whilst I'm doing so, I'm yammering on about it for a bit. Whilst I'm doing all that, I am inside my truck, and whilst I'm doing all that, folks, well, I'll be damned, I'm wearing grody work clothes. Typically, when I'm inside the truck and I'm wearing grody work clothes, that means I was on my way home from work and I found some shit to review for you. And that's 100% what happened today. For those of you who watch my channel long enough, you might know that, yeah, if I had a bit of an iffy night at work, which has been known to occur, a lot of times I like to go out, get myself something nice and frozen to enjoy, just to uplift my mood a little bit. And earlier in the week, I went to Tropical Smoothie Cafe, and I went over there and I got a couple items, and I reviewed those. And I had a little bit of a, it was a little bit of a meh kind of day at work. A little bit of a meh. Not terrible, but enough that I was like, so I didn't want to go out to Tropical Smoothie Cafe again since I'd just been there. I did end up somewhere else, though. Someplace I've reviewed plenty of stuff from before. It's Baskin-Robbins. Yay! But the thing is, I don't know that I've ever actually just reviewed Baskin-Robbins ice cream just as is. Usually I'll do it as like a milkshake or something, right? But no, this is just ice cream. But what kind of ice cream is it? Well, folks, this happens to be their November flavor of the month. And I knew I wanted to try this one. This is their Brie My Guest. Brie My Guest, Brie My Guest, ba 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 ba. You know the tune. Brie My Guest consists of Brie and burrata flavored ice cream. Those are cheeses, by the way. Almond and pistachio pieces with apricot swirls. This sounded too interesting to pass up on, but I didn't want to get it in a shake because I was like, I don't know how this is gonna do this. So I got it in a bowl. But let's get a thing for the thing here. Okay, got it as a double scoop because, as you do with your cheese flavored ice creams and stuff, and we'll kind of like try to. It's not the best lighting, but we'll kind of do like this. Ha ha ha! Maybe. Ha 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 ha! Let's try out cheese flavored November ice cream. Ooh. You can taste the cheese, but in a really nice way. So I've had Brie before, and but the thing is, I'm certainly not like cheesy McCheese guy. I'm not like I'm not busting out a cheese board. I'm not like cheese expert guy. But I've certainly had Brie before. Burrata, on the other hand, I got nothing on. I might have had it in something with all the weird shit I've eaten over the years, but that one I actually had to look up because I didn't even know what the hell it was. I figured it was a cheese, and it was. So keep that in mind as I'm explaining things, like my personal experience, that I am in fact not cheesy McCheese guy. As I get shit on my grody work clothes. So the thing that makes this work, because I really like it, the thing that makes this work as a flavor is that it's got a lot of shit going on. You have a sort of slightly tangy, almost mildly kind of savory, creamy-ish flavor from the cheeses. The closest I could sort of describe it as something you might have had, something like a cream cheese, like a Philadelphia cream cheese kind of deal. Almost a little bit cheesecakey. It's rich, almost a little bit buttery. And then because you've got like the pistachios and stuff like that, it almost reminds me a little bit of like a tangy pistachio ice cream. But then you've also got the apricot. So I like this so much. You've got tangy, cheesy, creamy, rich, nutty from the pistachio and the almonds, and then you've also got a nice striking fruit flavor. I like this because it has a shitload of stuff going on. Any one of these individually, like pistachio ice cream is nice, almonds are great, cheesy ice cream can be really good, apricots are great. All of those things are fine by themselves. But this is one of those things where the sum is better than, I think I'm messing this up in my head. It's the outcome is better than the things that make it up. I forget the actual thing. You know what the hell I'm talking about. It's one of those things where, like, because all of these things actually work really nicely together, it could have been a jumbled bullshit mess, but instead, it's, like, really tasty, really complex. It has nice sort of, I don't even know if I'd call them contrasting flavors, because, like, even with the apricot, like, yeah, it's definitely a different flavor than anything else that's going on, but it does have, like, a tanginess. It has, a fruity kind of bite to it, which kind of plays in with the cheese. And I think that's the thing that makes this whole thing work, is that the cheese ice creams kind of working as the base, being that mix of tangy and rich, they're sort of able to kind of work together with, like, the apricot, where that's a little bit tangy, a little bit fruity, and then also the more sort of earthy, again, pistachio and almond kind of notes, which I love also just as, like, a nice little textural thing. But I really like this, especially when you get, like, a proper go of it. It has cheesecake elements to it, really nice strong fruity elements from the apricot. This is one of those things where this is a very smart ice cream. It could have been a jumbled, fucked up mess, but instead, because of the way they put it together and the forethought that went into it, not to mention that they're trying to keep it somewhat fall themed, and I think that they do a good job of that as well, this is a really good ice cream. Like, some of the Baskin-Robbins flavors of the months are a little bit, I'd say about 50% of them in any given year are mostly just, like, Oreo variations, which, to be fair. But it's always really nice when they try something unique, and it works out really well. And I personally think that that's exactly what happened here. It's complex, really tasty, but two questions have to be asked. Would I get it again? Would I recommend it? Absolutely, and absolutely. I think, for me personally, this might genuinely be one of my favorite flavors of the month that I've ever had from Baskin-Robbins. It's not going to be for everybody, to be fair, but it definitely hits for me. I like complex flavors. I like things that not only send my taste buds, sparking and, trying to, like, but then also on top of that, that gets my brain going over there and trying to sort of, like, work out the combinations and work out where the flavors mix and where they contrast and stuff. I really like stuff like that. And it's part of the reason why I do this show, because I like to try things like that. So for me, this hits in a big way, and maybe I'm being a little bit generous, but I don't think I am. I'm calling this the business. And if you don't know what that means, folks, when I call something the business, that means that, like, fundamentally it's pretty much a perfect item. Like, I'm not saying you couldn't have a better version of this to some extent, like if you had, like, a higher class ice cream, putting it together, like maybe Jenny's or something like that. I'm sure you could get more out of the flavors and stuff. But, like, for what it is, it's really smart, it's really unique, and I love the flavor combinations. And, like, it's way better than I personally thought it was going to be. And I thought it was going to be good to start off with, so I would definitely get this again. And if I'm recommending it, I'm 100% recommending it. Again, it's not going to be for everybody. If you're somebody who, you're a little bit more plain Jane, and I'm not trying to fault you for that, but, some people are. This obviously isn't going to be for you. But the one thing I will say is, don't let those less common ice cream ingredients, specifically the cheeses, throw you off from trying this one. This is one of those ones that I definitely recommend you try, because I really do think, like I said, I think there's a lot of complexity going on there. I think the flavors really work nicely. And if nothing else, again, it sort of has a cheesecake kind of element to it. So I definitely recommend this one. I highly recommend this one. But 5 things before I get out of here. Have yourself a great rest of your day, spectacular rest of your week, monumental rest of your month, stupendous rest of your year, folks. Go over there yourselves a truly cheesy ice cream-tastic rest of your life. Well, 2 things. Number 1, try to bring some positivity into the world. It's not always possible. It is, however, always appreciated. But what you do can't do it all the time. I know I can't do it all the time. Here's what you're going to do, folks. You're going to try not to be an asshole. Folks, not always the easiest thing in the world to not be an asshole. Trust me. I know it. I live it. I'm out there every day with you in it. Life can be stressful and frustrating and just bullshit sometimes, folks. And when we find ourselves in situations where we have to deal with said bullshit, it's important we go over there whenever possible. Take a step back. Try to mitigate the level of assholishness in our lives. Hopefully, do better for ourselves and for those around us. Very final thing, folks, do the thing. Whatever the thing is for you, that's what I want you to go out and do. Folks, what's your personal favorite weird ice cream flavor, right? Because, yeah, well, I guess it doesn't have to be weird, but maybe like a little bit less conventional. Because of course you always have your standards. You've got your, your vanilla, your chocolate, your strawberry, your Neapolitans. But obviously it goes well beyond that. I mean, I'm a big mint chip fan. That's my jam. But, I like Rocky Road, and I like, plenty of other weird flavors and stuff. I'd be interested to hear what your personal take on this stuff is, though. Are you more of a plain Jane person, or like I said, do you prefer some razzle dazzle? But anyway,